Hello, vinyl community. I am way behind on posting videos. I think I have like 4 or 5 that need to be uploaded. It's probably my least favorite part about making the videos. Yeah. Anyway, I have a little vinyl finds for you here. I was feeling kind of. Actually, I still kind of am feeling kind of down and out today. Just work and finances and, kind of, well, not really life in general, because my home life is very nice, and it's the one thing that keeps me sane, that and vinyl. But yeah, work and finances are, a downer. So, anyway, so I decided to do some vinyl therapy. I did some vinyl therapy the other day, actually. I think it was Saturday. But that was online, and I made a purchase from one of our good friends in the vinyl community. I'm very, very excited to be receiving that hopefully soon, because it has shipped out, I understand. So, yeah, I will be very, very excited to have that unboxing for you. Anyway, even though it's been done many times before in the VC. So I went to a few different places. I went to the 2 different Goodwills in Riverside, and I went to Savers. They didn't have anything for me at Savers. Well, I found a couple, but I was like, eh. So I ended up not getting them. Yeah. But it's a good thing, because I found a handful at the second Goodwill. But the first Goodwill, yeah, I picked up what I believe to be some good music. Yes. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, I am not at all familiar with Minnie Riperton. But first of all, I love this cover. The ice cream dripping down her hand there, and the fact that she's wearing overalls and apparently nothing else. But this is Minnie Riperton, Perfect Angel. Again, I had never heard of her, but it looked to be in decent condition. And then when I was looking at the songs, I noticed there's at least a couple Stevie Wonder songs on here. Perfect Angel, and also Take a Little Trip. Yeah, so that, along with this little note that apparently is written by a fan. When Minnie sings, I feel my insides rush and quiver. She touches a place in me where no one else can go. It's hard to believe how incredibly high and beautiful Minnie can sing. But I know her, and I believe. Sometimes I just lay back and try to imagine how sweet her soul must be. Thank you for your music, Minnie, a gift of love for all the world to see, a very special fan. Now, is that very special fan Stevie Wonder? I don't know. I suspect it might be. But yeah, this is in great condition. So I figured, what, I'm going to pick it up. So, this next one, first of all, it's sealed. Music from Scotty's Castle, and it's sealed. I love a good sealed record, especially when it's old. I have no idea when this is from, but you can tell from the back. I mean, this style of cover is, at least 60s. Some pictures and a lot of text. Yes. I was intrigued by this one because now, if you don't live in California, you're probably not familiar with him, but up until recently, California has had a TV personality that he had traveled all over California, showing all these interesting places and people and events, all kinds of things. His name is Huell Howser. So if you're from California, you've probably heard of him. You may have heard of him if you're from Tennessee, because that's where he originally was from. So he was a journalist from Tennessee. He moved out to California, fell in love with it, and basically spent the rest of his life documenting all these interesting places and people and events. And one of those places was Scotty's Castle. Yeah. So I was very thrilled to find this, and especially sealed. Now, I don't even care what the music is like, but from what I understand, inside Scotty's Castle, and I don't remember it from the episode on Huell Howser. Well, the show was, well, he had a few shows, but the primary one was California's Gold. There was also Visiting with Huell Howser. But most likely it was an episode of California's Gold. And I don't specifically remember this organ, but apparently, there's some organ music, and then they have the in the tower, I guess they have some chimes, so it has that recorded as well. So excited to find this! I had no idea such a thing existed, and as you can see, it's in Death Valley, California. You might want to visit it in the winter. Oh, very excited about that. Yeah. And this next one makes me think of Tammy, our good friend Tammy in the vinyl community, because I'm pretty sure she's collecting records by this singer. I have no idea which ones she has and which she doesn't, but I was happy to find one. Melissa Manchester, and this is Singin', and it suggests singing in the rain. Yeah. So pleased to find this. I'm pretty sure this is my first Melissa Manchester. And Tammy, I know you rave about her, so I thought I would pick one up and see what it's all about. I mean, I've heard the name. I mean, she's a very, very famous name, Melissa Manchester. So, and I love female singers. So, I mean, yeah. Right about now, I'm wishing I had something to drink. All right. So then my next stop, that was the first Goodwill on La Sierra. The second Goodwill on Magnolia, I found some good ones, some interesting things. Yeah. So, the first one, and I actually featured this in a video I just finished recording about using dent pullers, a pair of dent pullers as a label saver. So you can check out my previous video to find out about that and how that went. And this first record was the subject of that experiment, shall we say. I'm so sorry. Wow. I wish this had coffee in it, but I already drank the coffee. Yeah. One big area I'm working on is my international music and Ukrainian wedding dance songs. Sure, I'd like to add that to my collection. It was in good condition. It was a little dirty, but it's clean now. Let's just say that. And then you can watch the previous video and you'll find out. Yeah, so pleased to add this to my collection. And another Ukrainian one, popular Ukrainian folk songs, sung by Olga Pavlova. So, I love, love, love international music, just from every single corner of the world, even though the world is round. Oh, this one makes me think of another dear member of the vinyl community, Rob Clark. This is my first record of bagpipes. And considering that my heritage is very likely from Scotland, yeah. Why is this only now my first bagpipes record? But yeah, it's the Pipes and Drums and Military Band of the Regimental Brigade of Scotland. That should be very interesting. And I love the artwork on this, actually. Exciting, soul-stirring. Yeah. Right with you there, Rob. Yeah. I know I've seen pictures of you with, I believe you were decked out in your kilt and whatnot, and, yeah, with some beverages. Yeah, so, I mean, just the song Amazing Grace alone, I'm very interested to hear that, so very glad to add that to my collection. Alright, now there was a time, and it's still true, it's just, there was a time where I was obsessed with New Age and a little bit of smooth jazz. It was almost all I would listen to. In fact, we have a radio station here in Southern California called KTWV The Wave, and they would play, you know, like Yanni and John Tesh and Tangerine Dream and David Sanborn, Kenny G. Now, I'm not a big fan of Kenny G, but you get the idea. Anyway, yeah. One of the big labels I discovered when I was in that phase was Windham Hill. So here we have a Windham Hill sampler from 1981. So it has William Ackerman, Robbie Basho, Alex DeGrassi, Daniel Hecht, David Quayle, Bill Quist, George Winston. Yeah. I enjoy a good sampler. I have a few in my collection, samplers, compilations, that sort of thing. So, and this one, the color of the week was red. So this one, I believe, was just $1 instead of $1.99. All right, I'm gonna. I might get some laughs for this. I don't care. Excuse me. When I was young, for some reason, I watched the movie 9 to 5 starring Dolly Parton. So this is her album. I guess it's 9 to 5 and Odd Jobs. Yeah, working 9 to 5. Oh man. Yeah. So. I love me some Dolly. That's a good picture on the back there. Yawning dog. I love me some dogs. Alright. And then along that line also is this, a double LP. And I did check to make sure both LPs were in there. Chris, Willie, Dolly, and Brenda. The Winning Hand. It's interesting because it... Yeah. It's like, which way does it go? Anyway, very pleased to pick this up. It's primarily actually I think it's all duet. Not all duets. It's primarily duets. You know, between members. So yeah, you get what I mean. So pleased to pick that one up. Now that one was a little more, it was $3.99. This next one I was very excited to find because you'll remember I just mentioned KTWV The Wave, and some of the or one of the musicians I discovered on that station, and I think also on that show I used to watch on VH1, New Visions, was Diane Shore. So I was very pleased to find this. And I do know that song, Beatles. She performed it. I had I want to say a cassette of, I believe it was called GRP Super Live. The record label GRP, basically one of the GRP, one of the key members in it is Dave Grusin, but they had this like super group that they put together of jazz musicians and singers and stuff, and they called it GRP Super Live. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called, and Diane Shore was one of the members of that. So that's kind of how I discovered her. But as you may or may not be able to tell, she is vision impaired, or to be blind. But it's very interesting because right here they have Beatles written in Braille. It's crazy that a person could run their finger across that and be able to read that. That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. So I just got lost in thinking, I don't know. I feel very fortunate. And yet, people that are vision impaired, they do amazing things. But one thing I'm curious about is it says Digital Master. I'm not quite sure. Does that just mean it's recorded from a digital master? Or that this is a digital master? But anyway, Diane Shore, Beatles. She's a pianist and singer. Yeah. Alright, these next three, or the last three, are ones that I wasn't entirely familiar with. I mean, well, this first one, I didn't even recognize his name, but the cover looked interesting, and so I did research him a little bit, and it sounds like something that could be good. So I figured I'd pick it up, even though it's kind of all torn up. But Jesse Colin Young, Songbird. From what I understand in my research, because I did not recognize his name either, I was originally drawn just to the picture here, but Biff Rose. From what I learned in my very brief research on my cell phone as I was at the Goodwill, he's a little bit of a character, or a novelty. I guess he has. I want to say he does folk, and I believe he plays the piano, but the gist of what I discovered was that he's kind of quirky, kind of weird. So that works for me. So this is Biff Rose, and I guess it is self-titled. Yeah. It's from 1970. And the last one, what I know about this guy, and again I did this partly from research, but I did recognize his name. I mean, he's a pretty big name in music. You have Tim Buckley. But I couldn't place what kind of music he does, but apparently he's a little bit elusive in his genres. I want to say he does a range of stuff from like singer-songwriter to progressive jazz to who knows what, to rock or something like that. I don't remember it offhand now, but I was like, wow, that sounds eclectic. So this particular album, I don't know. I was having connection issues, so I couldn't preview the albums, but I do know that's a huge name in music, and I do know that he had a tragic end. I don't remember if he was the one. I'm just not going to say anything because I'm just going to show how little I know about music. It's funny because I love music so much, but I just listen to it. I'm not really one to, read all the books or read like all the tiny print of the liner notes, that sort of thing. So when it comes to educating myself on music, I'm sadly lacking. But I do recognize big names, and that's a big name, so very pleased to pick that up for $2. Alright, well, there you go. Those were my finds. And the next video, which I'll record right after this one, is going to be a follow-up on the craze of my wood glue disaster video. So stay tuned for that one. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.